We have some people getting here first. This is people are gonna be pissed about this, but people will be pissed about it. But I don't feel like I need to say it. Oh, look at Steve Harvey, dumbass. Look at him with his dumbass child. What's up, Rhonda girl? Ooh, child. I got to ask y'all some questions. Look at Steve Harvey, dumbass. Steve Harvey is about to crown Miss Columbia, Miss Universe wrongly. But I got a question. Okay. Child, y'all know how they get up in them arms. I'm still trying to wind down. I know y'all like, why you ain't went to sleep? This is why I don't sleep, cause child. But listen, gratitude, Chaz. Y'all, these genomes about to be really probably pissed at what I'm getting ready to say. I am watching the show. It's on Tubi. TMZ capture celebrities doing dumb shit. Right? They get to Justin Bieber. They upset that Justin Bieber has um, gone. He went to the Anne Frank house a few years ago. Hey now. He went to the guided. Ooh, y'all. They probably about to be so pissed at this. I look a mess, don't judge me. I took my lashes off and everything. Anyway, Justin Bieber went to the can y'all hear me okay? Because I had to put on my AirPod. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Greenness. You can hear me? Okay. So Justin Bieber went to the Anne Frank house and he made a comment. He wrote in the book, Anne Frank was a great girl. If she was still living, maybe she would be a believer, meaning maybe she would like his music. And people are pissed, but he said his point of view was they told him during the tour that Anne Frank was a lover of pop. I need to prove a point. I need to make a point. Old people about to be so pissed off about this. First of all, it's a little muffled. Uh, I feel like I'm talking loud as fuck. Hold on, let me put the other one on. I want you to hear me. Oh, get out of here. The Watcher, I think I have. Okay. Let me see. Sorry. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, I'm going to rewind it some because I just want y'all to view this whole dispute and argument with me. And then, yeah, I know how they do. They be trying to block us. But I'm going to turn it around so y'all can watch it too. Okay? Because we got to have this conversation, right? Wonder by announcing the wrong. You know what? They don't look at that though. To choose, it's a big deal. It's a sacred the whole like Holocaust, and this pop star goes in there. But Anne Frank to me is like a celebrity. No. Oh, well, you're wrong. You don't know who she is then. No, I know who she is. She's not a celebrity. She's a victim. She is a victim of the Nazis. Growing up in school. Okay, first of all, y'all see this picture, right? This is Anne Frank. This is Anne Frank. This is Anne Frank. Okay, I'm gonna rewind it just a little bit more. With a buddy while he was in the attic taking a tour. They mad because he was shadow boxing. When you write this in the book, what it does is it turns the whole experience into a cartoon almost. That it's like, oh yeah, she'd be a believer. Who says that? I mean, like, first of all, it's like the ego to say something. Did y'all see her room? stunning. It's stunning. It's jaw-dropping.
Did y'all see the room? But did y'all see the room? You didn't see it? Let me go take it back just a little bit. I need you to see the room. This is the goddamn room, okay?
You said recently that Anne Frank could have been a believer.
I went to Anne Frank Museum, and they said that she was in pop culture.
With a buddy while he was in the attic taking the tour.
That is more disrespectful to me than the note that he left in the book. Because if you're going to take the tour and take in with what it has to
But when you write this in the book, what it does is it turns the whole experience into a cartoon almost.
Look at the room. This is this is Anne Frank's room. She got the pictures on the wall. That looked like a little girl's wall that was in the late 90s. That looks like a little girl's room from the late 90s. Right? I'm just saying. Just follow me.
That it's like, oh yeah, she'd be a believer. Who says that? I mean, like, first of all, it's like the ego to say something like that is just stunning. It's stunning.
It's jaw-dropping.
You said recently that Anne Frank could have been a believer.
I went to Anne Frank Museum, and they said that she was in pop culture. And at the end of over a 2-hour visit, I said I hope she would have been a believer. No.
Did you mean that if the Nazis had not taken her and she lived to be in her 80s, she would have liked your music, presumably due to loss of hearing?
This is an explanation or rationalization, whatever you want to call it.
It's
been used for Bieber a lot of times because he's made a lot of.
I'm so tired of seeing his hair.
And people
I'm really tired of looking at his locks.
He's not old enough. He doesn't know. He's not really mature enough to know better. Come on.
Now, I want to give
at this point, he was how old?
19. He was young.
People do this all the time. I think it was not okay, but people do it all the time. As soon as you say your cat died, someone's going to tell you about your cat died.
Right.
People naturally try to find a connection, and he was trying to find a connection in that moment. And it didn't land. No, it was wrong, but people do it all the time. If I say my grandma died, I
They
gotta
keep
hear
saying
about your
everybody is tone deaf.
You
say tone deaf.
I think she'd be a believer. That's not him connecting to her experience.
He was trying to
connecting to himself.
Exactly.
Her experience.
Well, 100%, it was wrong, but I would say his thought process was, hey, I'm Justin Bieber. I'm going to make this connection with Anne Frank.
I want to change the scene for a second. That it's not Anne Frank's house. It's Auschwitz. And he sees a picture of somebody in the wall at Auschwitz and says, God, that person would have been a believer, a young person. How would that land with you?
Auschwitz is a pretty heavy place to
Please. Okay.
It's the same thing.
Okay, well, let me ask. Okay, well, playing devil's advocate, let me ask. Playing devil's advocate.
I think you should tap it.
Let me ask you guys this. What's the point of having a guest book for people to sign at Anne Frank's house or at Auschwitz? If that's the case, why are you even signing a guest book?
Now,
You're making it about you.
It's a show that you've been on.
Oh, wow. Okay, for what? What did you do?
It's a guest book. You could write there, this makes me never forget. Something really meaningful. But not that.
Honestly, personally, I feel like there shouldn't even be a guest book.
Okay, so let's see. What's your defense of Justin Bieber?
I have no defense. I just don't
Oh,
feel
why
like
was it not a big deal?
I just don't feel
I
like
swear I
it's
have a
that.
point.
I don't feel like it's that
To
I swear I have a point about this.
It's a big deal. It's a sacred whole Holocaust, and this pop star goes in there.
But Anne Frank to me is like a celebrity.
No. Well, you're wrong. You don't know who she is then.
No, I know who she is.
She's not a celebrity. She's a victim.
She is a victim, but when I was growing up in school,
There she
we didn't
goes.
learn about other
She's taking a
Holocaust
picture.
victims or survivors or anything like that by name. Anne Frank was the person that we knew by name.
So let me
She
ask
was
you
the
something.
person.
If Martin Luther King, is he a celebrity?
Yes.
Is that how you think of him?
And if he was still alive today, yes.
Not as a martyr for the civil rights movement.
Well, he could be both.
Well, there's a difference between being a celebrity and being famous. Is there a difference difference between being a celebrity and being famous? Because Martin Luther King is famous and Frank is
Right, but
famous.
she's
Is
not.
there a difference between that and being a celebrity?
Her entire fame is about being a
Right,
young
is there
girl
a
who
difference
was
between those
killed
two
at their
ideas
home.
of something?
Let me give him his due a little bit. So Anne Frank's stepsister actually said during the tour, and they tell you about how much Anne Frank loved pop culture. And so that is part of the experience. And she says, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He was trying to.
Okay. Yeah, I just need y'all to hit it now. Oh shit. Okay. So listen. This is my point. I have made this point several times over. So now you heard it for yourself. Anne Frank was a fan of pop culture. You saw her room. Is anyone able to Google when Anne Frank died? Please. Can you Google when Anne Frank died? If you can, please. Anybody have an available phone, fucking computer? Wait, Cara. I have so many points. Listen, as I first was watching this, Yehuda said, "Oh, Quatita, you don't see it," and I said, "I see it." 1945. 1945. Okay. People may be upset with me when I say this. You say he has her soul. They showed you her stepsister, right? What was the stepsister name? Ava. Ava is the stepsister. Okay.
Relate his pop culture experience.
So Ava and Anne. Ava is the stepsister. The stepsister. This is in 1945, and I know a lot of shit is new and a lot of shit ain't new. Hear me what I said. Ava is her stepsister. You know, they didn't readily do shit like that unless Ava's father's wife died. They readily did not take another wife with children. They readily did not mix families like that. And then we're talking about Germany. But never mind, I'm gonna leave that be. I'm gonna leave that be. I'm gonna leave that be. You said she was 16 when she died. You said I missed the pop culture part. Okay. So Anne Frank. When you look at Anne Frank, right, even when they first started talking, I didn't rewind it all the way back. Even when you look at it, there were many pictures of her by herself, just featured pictures. And then she then she wrote a book. She wrote a diary, a journal that she kept. And when they came and got her, she like left the book behind. The book was later found. The journal was later found, and it was published as a book. The Diary of Anne Frank. She had siblings. She had siblings. She had a stepsister that Ava Schultz was her stepsister. Not one point did they show them together. Now, one point do they really rarely ever show the rest of the family? When you see pictures of Anne Frank, you see a lot of pictures of Anne Frank. No family pics. And she just so happened to be the young girl that was able to hide in an attic. And they just kept missing her every time they came until one unlucky day they came and found her, and she left the book behind. Um, she left the book behind and became a best-selling book about a young girl who was captured. First of all, who was taking her pictures? Who was taking her pictures? Why were they just taking her pictures? You know how they got just the pictures of Harriet Tubman? Like, you ever seen the young pictures of Harriet Tubman? I have. Who took Harriet's pictures? If you got that answer, bitch, I got $20 for you. Who took Harriet's pictures? Who took Anne Frank's pictures? And why were they just taking pictures of Anne Frank? And now she is this shrine for the Jewish community. She was brave. She was the martyr. Her slave master. You really don't know. Nobody does. Because who the fuck was just taking the pictures? What would have been the purpose? Where's the rest of the goddamn family at? Where's the rest of the family at? Where is the rest of the family at? Sorry. Um, it clicks off after a certain time. Where is the rest of the family? This is on Tubi, by the way. Uh, um, I get so tired of the staged bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I get so tired of the staged bullshit. And then, oh, I didn't know they was on there. And then they're so pissed off if you say any the fuck thing about it. Anything about it. I see it. One source says her dad, the other says unknown, and that she didn't take photos. Do you know there has never ever been a photo taken of Marie Laveau? Ever? Not one. She forbid people to take her photo because she was in hiding because taking photos was risky. There are nothing but photos of Anne Frank, Jamara. Who was taking them? Who was taking them? Are you aware who Prescott Bush is? Prescott Bush, do you know who Prescott Bush is? Prescott Bush is George Bush, George H. Bush, the father. That's his father. There's Prescott Bush, George Bush, and then George Bush Jr. or George W. George W. Bush. Prescott Bush was like CIA. He was a millionaire. He was past that. He was like a billionaire, and he was funding the war. He funded the Holocaust, and he funded the war. He funded shit in America because he was American, and he was funding. Google it. Google it right now. It's called double funding. Prescott Bush double funding. Somebody Google it, please. I'm not being bossy. Please. It's called double funding. Greetings. Some of them were taken before they went into hiding, some passport pics, and others in the photo booth. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. What I'm saying to you is the same thing that I said about Wham. Wham had all of these pictures. Wham is George Michael's, right? And we're just talking simply in the early 70s and 80s. They were they were not even celebrities. And they had pictures of themselves just riding down the street, just random pictures. They don't never really say who's taking these photos. These are like off guard photos. You have to look at who becomes a celebrity, who becomes the martyr, who becomes well known. It's in our day and age, sure, the pictures are everywhere. You said, yes, he did fund both sides. Yes, he did. He helped Hitler. Yes. Moms took a lot of their pics, says Netflix. So says Netflix. What I'm saying to you is there are planters everywhere. That is a story that they needed to give you. They needed to give the world that. Everything is scripted. It's scripted. Am I saying that the Holocaust didn't happen? I'm not saying that. I'm saying who took Harriet Tubman's pictures. I'm not just talking about her at 100 years old. I'm talking about she had photos of herself way before then, where she was looking pretty, where she was looking pretty, like Rosa Parks on the bus. Like, did they go back after? Did they go back after? It just so happened to be a camera there while Rosa was fighting not to get off of the bus. So everybody, they've always done this. So people were just carrying around their flip cameras, like flip phones. So then they went back and staged it. Rosa, because this was a monumentous um, part in history. What we need for you to do, Rosa, is get back on the bus. Sit back where you were sitting, and we're going to take your picture. We want you to glare out of the window. This is a photo op. So then, is that not disrespectful to the whole movement? That's not disrespectful to the whole movement? I get the pictures in Selma. I mean, these people were getting great photo ops of black people being sprayed by water hoses, You know, I get they set up the cameras out there when they were burning the black bodies and hanging them from trees, and they're all out there pointing up to the bodies, taking pictures with their children with the dead bodies of the black people that they have hung, killed, and burned. I'm just trying to understand who has all of these great photo ops all the time. It's great photo ops all the time. You know what years we're talking about? We can do it now because we got phones. We just holding the phone, just holding it. I grew up in the 80s and you had the Polaroids. And they come out and you got to fan that bitch. Oh, there it go, there it go, there it go, there it go. So then before those, I mean, and then sometimes you hung them around your neck because sometimes they came with the little thing, you know, the little strap on it that you hang around your fucking neck and shit. Um, Child, who told you to play this? We don't want to play this. Well, I'm just gonna let it play because it's on mute anyway, and I don't give a shit. Um, so then you had that where you had the little strap coming around your neck, right? Now, before then, I don't know for sure, but I know that some of it was where they had to set up the big cameras and then they flipped a piece of cloth over their head and it'd be like, you know, like what kind of cameras were they just setting up carrying around? Perfect lighting, Monica, perfect lighting, perfect lighting. Now I get them going to different places and them having set up the camera and then they got all of these people, these indigenous people, you know, that they have taken and then they got the little cloth over their head and then they hold a little button and the light bulb blow because they be having it. That's why they kept having to change the light bulb because when they do it, it blows the light bulb or whatever. Um, Say even that was way after Tubman days. I'm just trying to understand who the fuck is taking all of these pictures. What was the camera created? I think no technology we think is new, was new, reintroduced. Okay, great, because we know that in Egypt they had airplanes, they had light bulbs in Egypt. Totally get that. Totally get that. Totally get that. When was the camera made? The cameras were heavy as fuck. So did they also have the other ones that they used to hang around their neck? There were smaller ones, smaller than those big ones. They hung around their necks, and they were just down here at the chest, and they were like, "Say cheese," and to be the big light. I get that part. I don't know who never went blind. I'm just saying, but it was a lot of photo ops. Who was thinking 1816 is when the camera was made? Okay. Do you know how rare it was? Do you know how rare it was to have a camera? That's like they didn't even have TVs readily. You know, they didn't have televisions. Some people didn't even have a radio. They was still winding they shit up. So who was just taking photo ops all the time? It was not a big thing to have cameras like this. You do realize that, okay, because I get it and I understand, and there's a lot of excuses here. Um, picture it, Sicily, 21, whatever, Germany. They're Jews, right? They're the Jews, and the Germans are against the Jews, which is really wild because Hitler was a Jew. If you did not know that, Hitler was Jewish himself. People say he hated himself, therefore he hated Jews. Okay, makes sense to me. Now, I want you to just humor me. Just humor me. So they came in and they killed hundreds of thousands of Jews, which made it the Holocaust. They destroyed their homes. People were having to buy their freedoms with gold. They marked them and they put them on barcodes and shit like that, right? Right? I'm sorry. Okay, y'all following me? Right? So they went into Anne Frank's house. She was smart enough to hide. She hid in the attic. They didn't find her. They got the rest of her family. Don't know how they did not get the sister, the stepsister. They may have gotten her. She may have been in the Holocaust, and they just didn't, in one of the concentration camps, and they did not get to kill her. Not all of them were killed, right? But they came in. This is just like, you ever seen Hotel Rwanda when the Africans went through and they were like terrorizing their own people and putting them in refugee camps, right? They were burning down their houses. They tore up their houses. You mean to tell me the Holocaust happened and every one of Anne Frank's pictures came out just to fuck fine? Her room is still like it's in fucking Graceland. It is Elvis Presley's motherfucking house. All her pictures, her motherfucking diary was unscathed. The pictures were unscathed. I'm gonna need you to make it make sense for me. Oh, you said it too, unscathed. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna need somebody to make it make sense. So nothing was destroyed in that house. They came through and tore the fucking house up. They tore the house up and said, ah, 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 ah. Come on, man. Those are Ann's pictures. Get the fuck. Get the fuck, bro. Come on, dude. Those are Anne Frank's pictures. There's a lot of goddamn pictures of Anne Frank. Hey, oh, you so glad I'm on my goddamn phone. There is a picture. Tell me, somebody Google. Tell me if you see the picture of Anne Frank. I think she may be like laying on the floor or something. Like, Her little Germanish Jewish gown is still hanging up on the door. Um, couldn't afford it, nor was they selling. Just saying. Um, tell me if you see the picture of her. I think she's like posed on the floor or something. Um, I need to know if I'm making that up in my mind, because I don't want to have to get up because I'm really only just wearing this wife beater. There's no panties on, so I don't want to have to get up because there may be an accident. We can't afford accidents right now, so I don't want to have to go and get my computer. Please, somebody look it up. There are many pictures of Anne Frank, and I know you can't post it here, but I'm just saying. Tell me what you see. Isn't there a picture of her? I don't feel like she got on. I don't know if that's the cover of the book. Like, greetings. Go get the computer. Yeah. We can't afford no mistakes. Oh, they gave Anthony Anderson another show after he's been accused of molesting and raping bitches um several times. But never mind, that's not what we're talking about. You say two girls, not the German Jewish dress, manner prompting. I don't see it. What's the front of the book cover? I think there is a picture of her laying down or something where she's posed. What's the front of the book cover? I can't remember. I don't think it's the front of the book, but I need to know. Because I don't want to get up. Looking but haven't seen it. There's a lot of her sitting at the desk. Okay, got it. Why the fuck did I say that shit to Monique? They had Anne Frank side by side with Justin Bieber, and I said, huh, is it me? Is it me? Or does Aunt Anne look just a little bit like Justin? Okay. I said the same shit. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's the one in the grass. She's sitting at the desk. Okay. The desk in her room is up against the wall. The desk in her room is up against the wall. A legacy of hope is the one I see. Okay. And one of her on the beach laying. Okay. Who was taking these pictures? Again, not one of these pictures were defiled, were fucked up, were burned, were trampled over. They hated the Jews. They were they were told to destroy these motherfuckers. They took them, cut their hair off, put them in gas chambers, threw their bodies out in big mounds, and not one of these fucking pictures were destroyed. Can I ask y'all something else? Oh, this is probably gonna ruffle some feathers. I probably should not. I probably should not, but I'm going to. Only because it's a real question. I'm not being funny. I'm being for reals. Because it may have a real fucking answer. So I'm not being funny. I'm not. I just told you there are pictures of mounds and mounds of Jewish people. They killed them and they threw their dried the fuck bodies in a big hole on top of each other. There are pictures of this. I'm not saying the Holocaust didn't happen. I'm saying they used Anne Frank or whatever her real name is. What I'm telling you is that little girl did not die. That's what I'm saying to you. She stayed. She was a planter. That's what I'm saying. Now, I'm not saying that the Holocaust didn't happen. I'm not saying they didn't take a group of people just like they did the Japanese. They did it to the Jewish people, and now they're going to try to do it to the black people. Just hold on, follow me. So they had mounds and mounds of bodies thrown on each other, right? And that was just for a short period of time for the Holocaust. And those pictures are everywhere. There have been like photos of men on horses, slaves picking cotton. Where are all the slave bodies? Where are all the slave bodies? They buried them or they burned them. Even when they threw the Jewish people in there and they burned them, they still had pictures. There are mounds of them that they buried. Where's all of the slave bodies? Do you know how many 400 years is a long time? Where is all of the slave bodies? I would have thought for sure they was gonna document that. And out there taking the pictures. Where's all the slave bodies? They took a picture because they had cameras. Because who was Harriet Tubman? She was the one who led the Underground Railroad. Even though she ain't have a motherfucking map, she was saying that people was drawing her maps. How could these people be drawing maps? So they said, well, the Holy Spirit was guiding her to make that shit make sense because they knew that the black people was gonna be like, God did it. God, don't question it. God did that because that's what they said and that's the truth. So there's a picture of Harriet Tubman at about 19, 20 years old. She's posed in a very beautiful dress. She's a young girl and she's posed outside like this. Very beautiful. She looks very beautiful. I used to have the picture. I used to have it on my Facebook, my old Facebook that I'm still able to get in now. Yeah, I think I still have it. And maybe I'll find it and post it. But they took that picture of her, and this is way before she started running the Underground Railroad. That means that there were cameras. That means that they were taking pictures of black people. So even after she had did the so did when Harriet Tubman did the Underground Railroad, um, when did the freedom happen? When did the freedom happen? Charlotte, you see, I made you the moderator like you asked me. I have been trying to find you forever and couldn't. So where's all of the slave bodies? I really want to know that. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just want to know because they have, like right now, they have millions and millions of coffins and shit. And even with the Jewish people, they had bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies. And you even seen them in the streets in like for the refugee camps in like Rwanda and Africa and all of that shit. Where are the slave bodies? And I'm not being funny, it's a genuine question. Pictures of genomes coming on ships. Exactly. Um, they detailed I don't know who detailed, but they detailed the way that they had the rows of the slaves inside of the ships. They had, and I guess Noah told them how to build this boat that wasn't going to sink. That was nothing but wood. That was heavy wood, and wood doesn't swell up in the water and doesn't get swallowed up. But not only did they have the heavy wood in the water, who was immune to water, so it did not swell up nor break down, or maybe it didn't get termites or nothing. I don't know. But they were making several trips because they sailed from America all the way to Africa, first of all. And they didn't need Columbus at this time. They were just able to keep doing it in a wooden boat that didn't get swallowed and didn't swell up. And then they went over to Africa. I don't know which part. I don't know. It might have been Nicaragua. And so it might be Nicaragua. It might be a real country in Africa. I don't know. And neither do they. Neither do they. But they might have been called that at some point. We don't know. Okay. They went over there to Nicaragua and they rounded up like 500 slaves. And again, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just trying to tell the story of what may have happened. And so it was like 10 to 15, maybe 20 genomes went over to Africa where they had intelligence, spears. They walked with lions because they still walk with lions today. They sat and laid side by side the animals, and 20 genomes went to Africa on the boat because I'm sure it wasn't hundreds of them because where would they fit them all? So they knew what they were going to do. That's why they had enough room for hundreds of Africans under the boat because they went and they took two of every animal and put them on a boat. So they were familiar with the layout of what they were going to need because Noah showed it to them at some point. And so they went over to Nicaragua, Africa, and 20 of them gathered up, like, I don't, maybe it was just 100 of them, 100 slaves, because they were just able to just probably finesse, trick them because, genomes are so much smarter than black people. They were able to just come up on a land, even though they did slaughter some of them because they pretended like they liked them and they were just trying to understand. And those people, some of them accepted them in, and they drank and they smoked and they ate with them and they were showing them the way. And then some of these people went to sleep, and when they got up because the genomes were slaughtering them. True shit. Spirit showed it to me. They slaughtered these people in their sleep, right? I don't know at what point, what year, if we're talking about when they went over there with the wooden boats. I'm not sure. All I'm telling you is I saw genomes come up on a land, and they were, like friendly at some point with some of these people, and they slaughtered them in their sleep. And again, I don't know at what point this happened. I just know I saw it at some point. And so, oh, I'm gonna tell y'all some other shit I saw too, but mm, that's probably gonna fuck y'all up. I don't know. But they were able to go over there, like 20 of them, and gather up 100 strong African Nigregral men and put them on a boat in chains on their own land where they're in the multitude, and put them in a boat with their women and children because they were that much smarter and stronger. So maybe the Africans didn't have weapons because they didn't think they needed them. The Africans didn't know how to protect themselves. Please, if you're gonna be in the building, hit the like button. Don't know why you here if you ain't hit the like button. It's 204 people in here and it's 147 likes. That don't match. Make the like start liking. You said 15 million people survived with no food or water, urinating. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Urinating and shitting on themselves. Women periods would have taken months to get to Africa with the route they told us. Correct. And they weren't feeding them because what were they going to eat? They didn't eat, they didn't have water, and you put them in a hot as enclosed boat made of wood, may I add, and you were able to bring them over in chains. So these genomes put all of these Africans in chains and shackles. I ain't saying it didn't happen. I'm just trying to figure it out. I just want to make it make sense. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just want to make it make sense. Shout out to Make It Make Sense too, because I saw him in the chat the other day. Shout out to Mims. So tell me y'all's thoughts. That's all I want is your thoughts on the Holocaust, slavery, cameras, who took these pictures, dig. Just follow this. Just listen to what I'm about to say. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Please just hear me out. Then tell me. And I'm gonna just speak hypothetically because this is how I'm gonna just present it, right? They told us that it was hundreds and hundreds of slaves, although black people were the majority, and they just simply used intelligence to get us to be in weaponry and fear to get us to be slaves, to get them to be slaves as Melanites, right? And so, look, Spirit said you cannot characterize them as that. As black people, as the dark ones, as Melanites, however we need to put it for the soul and the spirit. Anyway, just hypothetically. And they have all of these slaves. And so they're killing them, they're beating them. And then you have like just a sprinkle, say out of a small town of 100 people, you have like 5 of them, because that's all you're going to have. It's about 5 of them are good white people, and they're going to help some of the black people to get away. You follow me? So then you have someone like Harriet Tubman that's going to come in, and she is going to start freeing slaves by taking them through an underground railroad. Not meaning she's really going underground. That means she is hiding hundreds of people. I can't even almost finish it because that is so asinine. It's so fucking asinine, bro. She's hiding hundreds of people. And there's approximately 5 good white folks that's going to help her to hide hundreds of people. And they had been finding these good white folks, and what were they doing? They were killing. Who was left to tell the story? You know how many slaves they claim they killed? You know how many black people they claim they killed? All of the good white people? Because slavery lasted so long because we couldn't get away. So says them with Nat Turner. Who was left to tell the story, and how was she hiding? Because they said she was moving 200 to 300 people. How was she hiding? I don't give a fuck if she only had 5 to 10 people she was moving through the trails. She is a runaway slave, free, because she got papers. Who gave them to her? I don't know, never mind. But she's able to go back and forth and never get caught. However, Nat Turner and them was fucked up. However, Kizzy was fucked up. However, Kunta was fucked up. Motherfuckers couldn't even get past threshold. Why? Because they had the Uncle Toms out, they had the slave catchers out, but she was able to move hundreds of people and never get caught. She was she was knocking babies the fuck out, like go to sleep, baby. And so the baby therefore wasn't crying because in the midst of the slavery and being beat and just having scraps, they thought it was a good idea to still keep having children because they were able to have small families just to reproduce so they can still promote and provide slave children for them. Okay, so why not just stop procreating? But never mind. They were able to move, so nobody was missing their slaves. I get up in the morning, Jesse, 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 Ma, Ma, where's Jesse? Karima, Karima, Ma, get the gun. So now they done went and seen that Jesse and Karima is gone. They go out to the slave field and notice that 5 to 10 of their motherfucking slaves have escaped. They jump on a good horseback and now they go down wherever to the next plantation to Paul Hogsworth. And Paul Hogsworth said, I'll be goddamn, Timothy. I'm missing about 3 of my slaves as well, and one of my bed wenches. And so they jump on horseback, but that goddamn Harriet, she slicker and duck shit on the fucking doorknob. She was able to crawl through mounds of grass and dirt with 2 babies and 3 toddlers on her back and like 50 slaves toting behind her and never got caught. Although she was collecting slaves from everybody's motherfucking. Mm. But then they took her picture because they was like, bitch, you did good. And we are proud of you for being able to move your people. How did you do it? Well, the spirit showed me. God, Jesus was speaking to me the whole way, and I was able to. Sometimes I would fall out and fall asleep because nobody was reading and they wasn't writing manuscripts. So this is the only way that they would have known, because word of mouth is bullshit. It went down word to word to word to word, but nobody wrote it down. They weren't reading and writing readily like that. So they didn't have manuscripts. Where is their book for Anne Frank? Where is it at? Who was there? Nobody wrote. There's some of them was learning to read, and nobody wrote a manuscript and hid it. Never mind. So they interviewing Harriet Tubman like they did Jane Pittman. And maybe Harriet was Jane Pittman. We don't motherfucking know. So they interviewed Harriet like they did Jane Pittman because Harriet was wearing all white at this point. She had been the shit. She did the shit. She decided to retire. Why did she did the slavery had ended? Slavery had ended, so she retired. Or did she pass the throne? You said I sent pic of her laying down to let's have the conversation Facebook. Okay, gratitude, gratitude. I'm just saying. They had the hounds. We talking about smelly people sweating, not bathing. The hounds never found them. They am I tripping? I'm tripping. Well, we took them through Massa's backyard first because they told you how she did it. They showed you the Underground Railroad, or did they go and after they yelled cut, they went and interviewed some of the slaves? God damn it, you slippery little niggers! How the fuck did you get away from us? We got we got to know. No, no, no. We've got to know. Tell us. How did you, slippery niggers, how did you slip? You God damn it, Charles. They slipped right through our hands. How did you slippery niggers slip through? Harriet, tell us. Well, I went through Master's backyard. Listen, if Harriet Tubman was running people, it was human trafficking. She was selling her fucking people, bro. She was a op if I've ever heard of one or seen one. The Holocaust survivors. It was Holocaust survivors. I always wanted to know how did the Holocaust survivors survive? Did they not go in the gas chamber with everybody else? They decided those were the people that were still in the concentration camps when they said, you know what? All right, we done. Nah, let them go. That's what they did to the Japanese people. We've had those Japs, those Japs. We've had the Japs in there. Those goddamn Japs. We've had the Japs in there for what 3 years? Eh, let's let them go. No, no, no. We'll just. You think we can trust them? It's been 3 years. We probably can trust those Japs. Yeah, I'm sure we can trust the Jews at this point. We've killed probably like shit. Uh, what's it been? Like George. It's been like 500,000 of them. They know we ain't to be fucked with. Let them go. Then they told you that the Civil War, they fought. The South and the North fought. And it ended slavery. Thank God. Thank God we're free at last. But it wasn't until Martin came to when they said, thank God Almighty, we're free at last. Even though they had the war, I don't know if it was I don't know why they be fighting. I don't know why they keep fighting. But one of the wars, which I think was Civil War, it stopped it. What what do y'all think happened? Do y'all think they was out there on the battlefield? They were out there on the battlefield and they was out there like sticking them with they they sword guns, because the guns had the long sword knives on the end of it. So they was out there. They was like, "Hey, whoa, pause, ceasefire. That's enough. The war has been won. 7 years ago, the war has been won. Let the niggers go. The North has won. The North has won. We're no longer fighting. It's over. Pick them up. Some of them are missing limbs and their heads are wrapped up. And we're going to put them on gurneys. And we're going to ship them. And they're going to go and tell their stories about how, Pearl Harbor was bombed and shit. And then they took all those people and put them in concentration camps. Never mind. And then they're going to, so who said stop it? And so, because the North won the war, am I tripping? Am I tripping? Ain't that what they say? They said the North won the war, and they had to come and get some of the black men's, although they couldn't fight together. I don't know who they was fighting because they couldn't fight together. So they couldn't fight together. You stay at that end, nigger. You fight down there at your end, God damn it. So the niggers had to fight at one end because they wasn't allowed to fight. We don't even know who they was fighting. We don't even know. My grandma was born in 1900. I heard pictures back then. She was wearing a fur coat and fancy hat and church hat. And was. This is what I'm saying to you. Where is the shenanigans coming from? How did her grandma have on that? How she have on that? How did this happen? I need somebody to make all of this make sense for me. We need for you to let these soldiers in your house. And I saw one movie where he told the lady, I need to come in, I need to eat, you need to feed me. And she was like, sure. I haven't had a man in my house in so long. And she let him in and she fed him and she clothed him. And she didn't want him to leave because she wanted some dick, but he wasn't really trying to give her no dick. So she bit that motherfucker and turned him into a vampire and told him, like, nigga, I don't need no help in this bitch. Guess what I am? Ah. And she bit him and made him a vampire. But I seen that on the movie. But I'm just saying, who stopped the war and said the North won? And we gonna let the Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln said, "It's over. It's over. Let my people go." Because they said Abraham Lincoln was really a black man. He was just passing as white. And so his wife was a thief. She had stole the flag from all of these black women who actually made it. And then she said to her and her genome friends made it and never gave them the credit for it. Prince says there were 8 black presidents before there ever was a white president. We don't get there. We don't know how that was erased. But I'm trying to figure out who said the North won and what was the real, who blew the whistle and said no more shooting, cease fire. The North has won and we're going to let these slaves go. Well, I guess it's the same people who saved all of Anne Frank's pictures from destruction. Every picture, all of the pictures on her wall is still fully intact. None of the tape is bad on them or nothing. Just saying. Just saying. Well, I'll check back with y'all later because maybe one of y'all have an answer for me at that point. I just had a question as to the Anne Frank. I don't even know how we got on this. Yeah, I don't even know who brought up Rosa taking having photo shoots on the bus. Rosa Parks had photo shoots on the bus. Y'all. They told Rosa to get back on the bus in her same place so it could be photographed. Why we ain't got no answer? I think I had really valid questions tonight. Well, this rising. I think I had really valid questions. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I expect an answer, people, tomorrow. When I get up, I expect for people to have put answers in this damn comment section. I am. Oh, maybe that's where they was hiding it at. Look, where she just found this magical book at. It was hidden in the fire. It was hidden in the fire thing, the fireplace. She took the little thing off, and this little magic book was in a little hiding space in the fireplace. Yeah. Well, I love y'all. I show gratitude. If y'all get some answers, please put them in the comment section of the chat. And I love y'all. Have a good morning. Grand rising. A grand rising. Peace and hair grease.